Let's talk about Twitter again today, more specifically undisclosed advertisements and shady advertising in general. A few months ago, a new trend, a new meta let's say, took the Twitter advertising game by storm. Clip guys, reply guys, gimmick accounts all now being slathered with a stake symbol somewhere in their post. It's become so incessant that almost every viral clip posted on Twitter usually comes with a stake symbol attached despite the content not even belonging to the poster at hand. It's become such a convenient strategy for revenue farmers to just clip anything, whether it's out of context, not belonging to them, your old viral videos, etc. It doesn't really matter. People will take it, repost it with a logo attached, and benefit from a stake paycheck, well, presumably. It's important to mention that Stake is a very large gambling company that in their respective scene is recognized and even commended for their extremely effective marketing strategies. It's been so effective that Stake has actually multiplied their annual revenue from $105 million in 2020 to $2.6 billion in 2023 alone. I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain why stake or gambling on its own are particularly dangerous things modern day, but if you want to see a good example of this explanation, you can just watch my Boss Man Jack video here. Now, let's move on to the main point at hand. People have begun to utilize anything and everything for the sake of putting a stake advertisement in your face. In some cases, as long as it benefits the chances of a post going viral and maximizing profit from a stake advertisement, some people will go out of their way to cut context of a clip and frame it in a way that will cause outrage, concern, confusion, or whatever other buzzword you want to utilize here. Here's an example. This user posts this. Valkyrae talks about the time where she was involved in a gangbang and how she enjoyed it. As we can see by the convenient community note, this clip was in fact taken out of context, and out of respect for Valkyrae in this situation, I will not be playing the clip. However, this did result in Valkyrae making a sort of response. Valkyrae responds to that particular tweet, which has now been deleted, and she says, not really sure how to deal with out of context clips with insane titles. Here's an example of when I was sharing an experience going to an all-female onsen in Japan with friends. I get some people are just trying to make a few bucks with a logo and stuff, but the hate I've received because of lies has been insane. Some of these clips are from when I shared a non-consensual sexual experience, and out of context, I'm perceived as a whore. Regardless, sharing sexual experiences, whether they are consensual or not, is not a crime. I did so in hopes some people would find comfort in not feeling alone in a similar experience, but I did not expect the consequences of what would happen on this platform if I did. Sorry for getting a little soy here, but it is a very unfortunate reality that some female creators will now get unjustly sexualized or harassed or be smeared if they misspeak or step out of line even a little bit, because to certain clip accounts, that is a prime opportunity for them to capitalize on misframing a situation for the sake of a viral post. It is a monetary incentive. This has happened to a few other individuals as well, more specifically Pokimane. And while I don't particularly like some of these individuals for stuff they've done in the past, I don't think it is fair for them to be subject to this level of what I would call disinformation. As a matter of fact, I don't think anyone should be subject to disinformation or misinformation at all. 10 hours later, Valkyrae made an update tweet. I've been inspired and made an appointment with a lawyer. If you had your content clipped out of context, sexualizing or defaming you while monetizing with a certain logo, please DM me screenshots and the account at. Now, I'm not exactly sure what transpired here, but shortly after these posts were made, the account that Valkyrae responded to was in fact deleted. I'm not exactly sure if this is the case, but if Valkyrae did in fact have a hand in causing that deletion through legal action, I'm actually very in favor of this, considering the potential for defamation that these accounts may play into, so long as they go unpunished while getting a fat paycheck for it. This leads me into something else. Due to how incessant these stake advertisements have been, there has now been a pushback from creators to try to mitigate the damage that can be caused by these stake ads, and someone who you probably aren't expecting to be a player here has now put their foot in the ring to assist in the fight against undisclosed ads. Recently, the Yo Mama guy, Brody Fox, actually got into a bit of a fight with an individual known as LaDuff, and Brody Fox made a tweet saying, "Breaking character. I've already demonstrated my autism this past week with filing a criminal charge. I'll do the same thing with an FTC violation on stake ads. Additionally, I'll escalate the matter beyond my short tweet. I'll include the illegal promotion of gambling." As you can see with this exchange, LaDuff is arguing that this individual doesn't know the difference between disclosed and undisclosed, and then he replies with, the main argument people bring up is that they think it's undisclosed, but the ad literally says hashtag ad, which makes it a disclosed ad, SMH, and Brody Fox replies with, "Nope, the hashtag ad must be displayed in such a way that a regular consumer can identify the sponsorship. You and everyone else is failing to do so. As such, I'll make sure the everyday X user can report these violations in an easy to understand manner." I also want to go over this thread that Brody made, which discusses his interaction with what he claims was the previous head of Kick Partnerships, a company that is owned by Eddie Craven, who also co-founded Kick. Brody says, "It began with my announcement of providing a Federal Trade Commission guideline for ad violations. Both him and his creators got angry. He exposed his agency. We know it's the stake agency based on responses and the associated profiles. Using LinkedIn, I quickly ID'd the company's profile and associated account. One of them belongs to Adi Manohara, former head of Kick's partnership. He's the self-proclaimed co-founder of Weekdays. Stake ads, fuck it. We'll worry more about the spelling once the FTC report guide drops." There's also this thread that Brody made here that I want to include just for the sake of information and awareness. How to file an FTC complaint against the stake ads. You can file online or by phone. The URL now redirects to this landing page, reportfraud.ftc.gov. Once there, you're going to click on Report Now. Next, you're going to select something else. In my honest opinion, this category seems to best fit the situation. You'll need to provide important information in your own words. Include stake, Weekdays, and an example account/post in your comments. Note, I blacked out the tweet link in the image so that the account owner won't try to delete the evidence. The next section is pretty straightforward. The date of first contact will vary from person to person. I suggest thinking on how far back you've seen these ads. Use that date. Weekdays has publicly taken claim of this marketing campaign. As such, I'm going to include them under company along with the founder. You'll need to include your information as well. Don't worry, the FTC won't share this with anyone. Now click submit. You'll be given a copy of your report. Okay, so just as a disclosure, as a bit of a warning, as a bit of a skeptical thought, I'm not entirely sure just how educated Brody is on this matter. I'm not entirely sure how effective this strategy will be or how much Brody knows about FTC violations, but then again, neither do I. I did a bit of research, and based on the FTC's own articles, there is enough information here to suggest that these ads could technically be undisclosed based on how they define disclosed advertisements. The FTC states that ads have to be disclosed at the beginning of a post. If in video format, such as TikToks, the ad has to be clear and conspicuous, as in large and visual. If audible, it has to be fully heard in the post as well. Some of these accounts just have stake logo with a very small hashtag ad at the bottom, which can be argued isn't outright visible and can be missed by the typical viewer. The FTC article mentions that from case to case, a viewer has to be aware of a disclosure and not miss it, so Brody may in fact be on the right track here. I am open to be corrected by anyone who is significantly more educated and informed on this matter than I am, though. As a result of this, Brody Fox actually had to make a tweet where he says, "Hey, coffee break YT, I'm getting a large influx of DMs from insiders regarding the stake ads. This is beyond my scope and requires a seasoned journalist. Happy to connect you with these insiders. I want this handled properly." It appears that this situation is going to escalate some more. Valkyrie even made a sort of vague tweet saying exciting news soon. Hopefully she comes out with her own plan. It's important to really understand the stake meta epidemic, as it can result in a lot of harm being done, especially when you take into consideration the ease of access that stake has in terms of gambling. And if I may rehash, the potential of people being defamed, as well as content theft. When you really start digging deep into the situation, there is an abundance of issues that can arise from this advertising meta. I wanted to talk about the situation today because not only are ads annoying, but because it should be in everyone's best interest to be aware of accounts that post these ads and ruin people's feeds with out-of-context clips, revenue farms, and gambling advertisements. I'm not opposed to a company advertising and trying to grow their business, even if it is something as dangerous as online casinos. However, there are limitations to what people should be exposed to in terms of marketing. I mean, that's why there's FTC regulations regarding product placements, endorsements, and undisclosed advertisements, such as we've been seeing so far. I want to make it clear that I'm not really pearl clutching about gambling. People have agency and are more than capable of making their own decisions. It's not like people are being held at gunpoint to go waste their money on an online casino. The larger issue at hand here is how people are genuinely spreading disinformation by purposely cutting context and framing things in a way that can be incredibly damaging to someone's reputation, such as Valkyrie's case. Doing this just for a couple of dollars from a stake advertisement. Boring topic aside, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.